Hey guys, so we got the tea. Okay, we got most of the tea because Sean Davy Bay said he wasn't going to spill all the tea. But we know what's going on now with Jaguar's mother. She is still in Shreveport, as a lot of people knew already. I did not know, however, that she's not at the same hotel. This is all according to Sean Davy Way. He put out a live and he spilled some tea, and I wanted to make a video to address some of the issues because a lot of people are running with different narratives. So I just wanted to set the record straight. First of all, her mother is still in Shreveport. She has been putting money on Jaguar's books. She is refusing to leave Shreveport. Even if the family come get her, she said she is not going to budge. She's not going to move. And this is why she's still in Shreveport, because if a person tells you, if you come get me, I'm not leaving, you can't make them leave. You can't force them to get on that bus or car or the mode of transportation. You can't make them. She's a grown adult capable of making her own choices. She's not mentally incapacitated, so she's allowed to make her choices. If she chooses to stay there in Shreveport, guess what? She's going to stay there. And I guess she's going to stay there because that's where Jaguar and her, along with Sam, relocated to. That is their new home. So why would she want to leave? Just like if you were to relocate to a different part of the country, and then all of a sudden someone tells you you got to leave because someone else is not in your life. You got to leave. No, you're not going to leave because that's your new home. So that's pretty much what it is. This woman have lived on her own all her life. First, with her husband, with her whoever, with Jaguar, maybe the family. So she knows about living on her own. This is not new to her. She can take care of herself. She has her monthly checks coming in to pay her bills, and that's it. She puts money on Jaguar's books. She has gotten her an attorney. And so this is not new to her, taking care of herself. So in terms of her leaving, and everybody's saying, oh, why is she still there? She's there because that's her new home. She's in a hotel. She's not renting an apartment. Maybe she should look for an apartment if she's going to be there permanently. It's going to be cheaper than the cost of that hotel. But the family loves her. This is what I'm gathering from what he put out, from what Sean Davy Way put out. The family loves her and they want her to come live with them. A lot of times, I know in my family, when my mother was a certain age, we all were saying, oh, mom should come live with us. Mom should come live with a member of the family. Because when you get to a certain age, as an elderly person, the family wants you with them because they think they can take care of you better. Or maybe they see you not taking care of yourself as you should. And so they want you to come live with them. But a lot of times that's not what you want. I know with my mother, she didn't want to live with none of us. She wanted to live in her own home. And whether it's a home, apartment, or hotel, you just want that autonomy. You want to be on your own without anybody telling you or dictating to you, or you feeling as if you're going to be under their roof for them to dictate to you. And a lot of people are saying, well, that can be said for Jaguar. She's living with Jaguar under Jaguar's roof and Jaguar's dictating to her. Well, guess what? If you're paying the bills, it's your place, right? Jaguar's mother was paying all the bills. So wherever Jaguar lived, although Jaguar said it's my apartment, it really wasn't her apartment. It was her mother's apartment. Who pays the bills? It's their dwelling. You just happen to live there. Jaguar happens to live there because it's her mama. But her mother was paying the bills, so it was her mother's apartment. When Gerald was there and his name was on the lease, it was he and the mama who was paying the bills, so it was their place. So the mom is still there. I don't see her moving unless she have a come to Jesus moment and say, you know what, I really need someone to care for me better. In terms of cooking, she cooks. She cooked all the time. Regina was living there. We heard her talk about her Sabbath meal. So she cooks. In terms of her taking care of her grooming, etc., she may slack off because it's not really necessary anymore. She's not going anywhere. She doesn't have a job to go to. So she may slack off a little bit. Maybe that's when she's going to say, you know what, I need someone to wash my clothes and take care of me a little better. Go shopping for groceries. So we're going to see in the next couple of months or the next couple of weeks if she's going to relinquish living on her own. But for now, she has doubled down. I'm thinking also maybe Jaguar can be freed from this burden of her mother living in this hotel waiting for her to come out. If Jaguar knows she's not coming out anytime soon, the kind thing she can do for her mother is to release her. All Jaguar got to do is call his sister Lachelle up and say, listen, Mom is only out there in Shreveport waiting on me to come out of prison. I don't want her to live there by herself without family around her. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call Mom and I'm going to convince Mom to come to where you are. That's the only thing I see maybe Jaguar could do for her mother is to release her. But is she selfless enough to do so? That's another question. Because Jaguar seems to be very possessive of the mother. Like she's the only one who can take care of her. So we're going to see what happens in the near future concerning that. Whether or not the mother is going to stay on her own, or whether or not she's going to have a come to Jesus moment and go live with the sister. Or whether or not Jaguar is going to actually put in that call to the sister and say, you can go get Mom. I told Mom it's okay. When I come out, we can discuss her coming back and living with me. But for now, you guys can go get her. She's okay with you coming and get her because I've spoken to Mom. That, I can see that happening also. So we're going to see whether or not, something else gives. Because really, it's not a good situation that the mother is in. Living there all by herself in Shreveport, and the family's all the way somewhere else. Anything can happen to her. She's a diabetic. She can go into insulin shock, or right now, if something is going on with her that she needs special attention, there's nobody there to give her that special attention. If she can't get out of bed to maybe go get her insulin, nobody there to go get it for her. So it's not a good situation. It's not a good situation that she has put herself in. And maybe she's going to come to realize that although she wants to stay in Shreveport, because that's where they have relocated to, it's more beneficial for her to live with a daughter. I see that really happening. Because a lot of times what you want is not what you need. You know, she needs to be with a daughter. She wants to be in Shreveport on her own, but she needs to be with Lachelle. And Sam is with his dad. Sam is very sensible. You didn't have to tell him twice. Mama is gone. This is not a good situation. All my clothes is gone because the U-Haul truck was towed away. And when it got towed away, all the clothes, all the items, everything was in that truck. I'm sure there's some personal things that they wish they had on them, like family pictures, heirlooms, just things over the years from Sam going to school, just mementos. That's gone. That's why I was saying maybe it's a good idea for somebody in the family to pay the fees and the costs of the U-Haul truck in terms of getting it out of hock, getting it out of wherever it was towed, pay the U-Haul fees and everything that was incurred just to get those little items back, because you cannot replace those photos, a lot of them. Sure, some family members may have copies, but a lot of the personal stuff you can't replace. And that is chronicling the person's journey throughout life. I'm talking about Sam now, when he was a little boy, and all the funny things that he did or didn't do, and the soccer lessons and piano lessons and just the drawings, and everything is in the truck. Because from what I was made to understand is that because Jaguar was planning to take the truck to the storage place and unload there all the items, store them away, they were changing, just swapping out clothes. This is what I'm thinking. Or maybe have the dirty clothes in the room, the hotel room. Or maybe they're washing by hand. Or maybe the hotel have a little washroom area. But wherever the dirty clothes was, you get my drift. They would swap out the clothes, put on the fresh clothes, and wash what they just took off. So they didn't have a whole lot of clothes in the hotel room. And so all their belongings really were in the truck. So if I were them, I would find out the cost. I would contact the U-Haul company, find out the cost of all the fees incurred, all the taxes, all the etc. How many days the truck was in this storage place, this wherever they hauled it to. Find out the fees and try to get the truck out, pay for the truck, just so they can get the items. Because you can't replace a lot of those items. Money can't replace it. And it's just one of those situations that I know personally that no amount of money could hold me from getting like pictures. Like to me, those pictures are not replaceable because they're the memories of your children, So I would have paid anything to get pictures for the journey of my children or my child, because I know you can't replace it with money. So that's what I would suggest to the family. If there's any way of them paying, if it's not too much, if it's not a great cost, if there's any way of them trying to retrieve the truck just so they can get the items. Or maybe the truck is back at the U-Haul company. Maybe the U-Haul company already paid. So they need to contact maybe the contact the U-Haul company and find out how much they paid with maybe some more fees attached to that. And then they would just have to get those items that way. But in any event, however they would get the items, that's what I would suggest. Try to work out a deal with the U-Haul company to get the content, or some of it anyway, out of the truck. The personal stuff. All the stuff like the furniture, that's replaceable. But your pictures and your mementos throughout the years of the child growing up and you with a family, you can't replace that. So Sam went back to his father, and everybody is so happy that he made that decision to leave. And when God has a hand in your life, this is how things work out. Because we were hoping and praying that he'd go back to his father's house. And look what happened. Sooner than later. Because I thought this was going to happen months down the line when his father came on and his father was talking. In his interview, he was saying, well, he wants Sam to make that decision. He wasn't going to make a decision for him. That's what I gathered from his interview. And no more than 2 weeks after, Jaguar was in jail. And Sam made that decision to go back to his father. When God is in your life and working, this is how things work out. So we are happy that Sam is where he needs to be now that his father can give him further guidance, get him back in school, college, because he is a bright young man. There's nothing wrong with his brain. Get him back in school, and maybe he can, get a little part-time job so he can bring in his own money. And just try to get his life back on track, because his life was interrupted when he was with his mother. Because when he was with Jaguar, he didn't work. He wasn't in school. His IDs, I guess she was keeping all the IDs because he didn't know where his ID was. And that's a dangerous situation. Something happens to you, you got to be rushed to the hospital and you have no ID on you, or you don't know where your ID is. So those things, it's good that he's back with his father, that he can start getting those things in place once again. He just have to worry about getting his life back on track, basically. In terms of Jaguar have her game plan. We know she's a schemer. And so whatever it is she's planning on doing, because she was supposed to sign that piece of paper to get transported back to Texas, which she didn't do. So now she's waiting on a governor's warrant so Texas can come get her. That's going to take at least a couple of weeks. So I suspect she's scheming and plotting, and now that a lawyer is involved, I'm sure they're probably trying to work out a deal with Texas for the mom to get a lawyer. That tells me that they're trying to work out a deal with Texas. And Jaguar is going to be Jaguar. She is who she is. We already know that the mother loves her dearly. She's the apple of the mother's eye. Lachelle, I would imagine though, that Lachelle probably feels slighted to know that she has a younger sister, and she's always been like a stepchild. Bet she was to the father, because Jaguar's father and Lachelle's father are not the same father. But he I guess, adopted her as his own when he married the mother. But I would imagine, since all the attention was on Jaguar, the baby, Lachelle must have felt slighted, like if she doesn't matter, like if she's invisible, like if her only job was to take care of her baby sister. Because she almost shed a tear when she had an interview with Sean Davy, and she said Jaguar walked for the first time with her. Not even Jaguar's parents saw her walk for the first time. It was Lachelle who saw that. So that just told me that she took care of Jaguar. Because for you to see the first steps of a child, you got to be there all the time because you don't know when it's going to happen. So when it does happen, whoever catches it, I can guarantee that they're with that child most of the time. And so when she said she saw the first steps of Jaguar, that's when I understood in my mind that she was really the one who was taking care of Jaguar. Because remember, the mother was not all there, you know. And since she was 10 years older than Jaguar, the responsibility of taking care of Jaguar rested with her. That's what I was gathering from the conversation that she was having with Sean Avey. And so you just got to wonder the burden that was placed on her as a big sister to take care of her little sister. And so when she left, she got pregnant and she left with her baby to start her own life. I think she was 19, she said. Jaguar was only 9. And both of them would take care of the mother, the 9-year-old and the 19-year-old. But I would imagine the burden was on the sister, Lachelle, because she was 19. The burden of the taking care of the mother rested with her because Jaguar was only 9. There's so much she can do as a young person. But after she left, the entire burden of taking care of the mother rested directly on the shoulders of Jaguar. And I would think when you're 9 years old, 10 years old, you want to go outside and play. But no, you can't because you got to make sure mama takes her insulin and mama's food is on the table. And mom, I don't know to what extent they took care of the mother, but I'm just saying there were things to be done for the mother that now fell into the hands of Jaguar because the sister, Lachelle, was gone. Whatever the chores were so much that Jaguar to this day feels resentment that she had to do all these things for her mother because she said her father was very domineering and strong-willed. So I would imagine he probably was telling Jaguar, do this for your mom, do that for your mom. And she was resentful. But I think as Jaguar speaks, you hear and feel the resentment more for the mother because she loves her father. She says she is her father's child. He was a monster. That's how she put it. And she said she inherited those traits. She is the same. So she identifies herself with traits of her father. So she loves her father. Her mother, on the other hand, she have a resentment. And that stems back from her having to give up part of her young life to do so many things when she could be playing, when she could have been playing with her friends or just hanging out and interacting. And I think later on, that's why she was so rebellious. Because when you're brought up in a Seventh-day Adventist church and your parents are strict, because her mother was a school teacher and her father was a drug and alcohol counselor. This is what I understand. And so you have both parents on the strict side, and something is wrong with the mother. Maybe she had a nervous breakdown. I don't know. A lot of times, when people say mental, back in the day, whenever they said a person was mental, they meant nervous breakdown. The stress and the stresses of just life and what's going on with your relationships, whether it's your husband, your children. Some people cannot stand the pressures that that brings. And so they have a little push when it comes to their psyche, their mental capacity is not able to withstand it. And they go slightly over the edge where they have to take medication just to get to a balance where they can function. So we really don't know what exactly happened to Jaguar, because I would imagine a lot probably did happen that she did not articulate. It just comes out in anger when she says, my mother have no credit, she have bad credit, my mother have no money, all the money is mine. Well, now I can understand why she made that statement. It's not that she was stealing from the mom like we all thought. I don't think that anymore, because I think she made a statement that all the money is mine. My mother have no money, because she feels entitled. She feels as though she has done so much for her mother when she was young and her youth was stolen. She feels as though that's the least her mother can do for her. And her mother probably told her, yes, all the money is yours because you've done so much for me. I'm sure her mother said that. And then she just repeated it because she really feels as though, in my mind, she feels as though everything that is hers now, she deserves. All that income that her mother having coming in every month, she takes and she keeps a roof over her mother's head with it. She pays for the hotels, she pays for the food, she pays for, if they're in an apartment, she pays for the light and gas, etc. She feels as though this is what mom wants me to do with the money. Enjoy the money because I give up my youth to take care of her. So this is what she's going to do for me now. And her mother probably told her, yes, all the money is yours. That's how I'm looking at it. So I don't feel that she has stolen. I feel as though the money is not used wisely. Maybe she was using the money for other things, but not deliberately stealing, if you know what I mean. If she goes out and buy stuff for herself with the money, that's not using it wisely because it's not intended for her, it's intended for the mother. But the mother gave her permission. This is what I'm thinking. So she felt as though she can do anything with it. She can do anything with the money. Because basically, if her mother is saying, yes, all the money is yours, I give you all the money, then she would get out there and make that statement that all the money is hers. And again, I can't help to think that Michelle feels slighted, that she is her mother's child, just like Jaguar. But she's not entitled to anything. And I don't think the mother is seeing that, nor Jaguar. Michelle have feelings too. She have feelings too. She have children who would maybe want a part of that money. Michelle may want a part of that money, but all the money going to one person. Michelle took care of her mother also. So I'm sure Michelle feels a kind of way. And we have to look Not only a Jaguar situation, we have to look at Latrell also. That maybe she's hurting, that she's being stepped over in some type of way. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing. Shell did say all the stuff that Jaguar have been saying about her, like she's a drug addict and all of that. That's not true. And Jaguar was only saying that because she is still upset with her. Jaguar holds grudges. And so she's upset with the mother when she says, my mother have bad credit. She's a crazy woman. Oh, y'all don't know how crazy? The mama is not crazy. We can clearly see that. She may have issues, yes. But that kind of crazy that Jaguar was spewing the other day, she was just lashing out at her mother. Because she's angry at her. Same with Latrell. She's angry at her too. But the bottom line, Sam is with his father. The mother got an attorney for Jaguar and she puts money on her books. So now we get a clearer picture of what's going on. So then I understand that the car will be repossessed. And the way that happened, I thought that maybe the car was in Sam's name. And the father called Sam and told Sam that the car will be repossessed because they called him up and told him. And that's not how it happened. From my understanding, how it happened is apparently Jaguar's mother's name is on the car lease. And when payments were missed, they called Sam Sr. up. I guess because maybe Jaguar must be dealing with the same leasing company, car leasing company. And so when they were trying to get hold of the mother, could be the mother didn't pick up the phone, because if the mother's name is on the car leasing paperwork, then she must have put on her phone number. But could be they were trying to call the mama up to let her know that they're going to repossess the car and couldn't get a hold of her. So now they had to go down the list. The next person to call from maybe a previous application that Sam Sr. had his name on, they called him and told him that the car would be repossessed. So Sam Sr. now called his son. He can't call Jaguar because he and Jaguar don't have a relationship like that. So the next person for him to call was his son. So his son can let Jaguar know what was going on. So I thought that was very kind of him because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to call his son to let his son know so the son can tell Jaguar what is going on. But in any event, when he called Sam Jr. then told his mother that the car was going to be repossessed. And then she let it be known on the Sean Davy Bay show. She let Sean Davy Bay know what was going on. And of course, she was ranting and, wailing that, no, that's not going to happen. But that's how that happened. That it was just information being passed on from Sam Sr. to Sam Jr. and then Sam Jr. I don't know if they were able to get a hold of Jaguar eventually to let her know that the car would be repossessed. But the fact that they called Sam Sr. lets me know they were not able to get a hold of her at the time. But maybe afterwards, after that phone call to Sam Sr., maybe they were able to get a hold of her. I don't know. But that's how that went down. But Jaguar have got to get a hold of this mental illness, whatever it is she's diagnosed with. Because there are a lot of people who are living with the same disorder and they are fine. They're taking their meds, they're functioning, they're doing their check-ins, There, because when you're on, she says she's on lithium. When you're on certain meds, certain psychotropic meds, they got to check your blood level. They got to check you periodically to make sure you're not having severe side effects like maybe drooling or shaking or that type of thing. And if that's the case, then they know how to adjust the medication. So she's got to really adhere to her medication regimen if she wants to control her behavior. If she doesn't adhere to her medication regimen, then she's going to be spiraling out of control. Like what we saw with, for the past couple of months. She was spiraling out of control. Her mood swings would be from here to here. 1 minute it's on the left, the next minute it's on the right. And we know this because she was going to the police department, police station, mayor's office, and just cussing people out left, right, and center. That's when you knew her medication had not taken effect or she didn't take her meds. That's when we knew. There were times when she was very lucid, when she was carrying on decent conversation without the paranoia. And we knew she had maybe taken her meds then. So it's very, very clear to see when Jaguar did not take her meds. It was as clear as night and day. For those people who did not catch it, I just wanted you guys to know those are the times she didn't take her meds or the medication did not take effect for whatever reason, because a certain level have to be built up in your blood. And if you skip in your medication, you take it today and the next couple of days you don't take it, you don't have that build up. So you're going to be in and out of mania. So maybe this time around, when she gets out, she can start working on herself, because she won't have anybody around her really to stifle that. Instead of worrying about Sam, because now Sam is with his father. So now she can concentrate on working on her when she gets out. Because I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes God just wants you to sit your behind down and work on yourself. And so God will remove every obstacle from your life. The car, the apartment. If you have people in your life, God will remove those people just for you to concentrate on you. Just sit down and work on you. So when she gets out, that's pretty much what it is. She has been stripped of everything, even her clothes on her back. That's when you know this thing is spiritual. God is working. God wants her to work on herself because everything is gone. What she's got left is her own self. So that's what she needs to work on when she gets out. On herself. Work on herself. Like I said before concerning her mom, I don't know, we don't know if she's going to remain in Shreveport. But for now, she's there. But that's left to be seen if she's going to remain there. So another thing I was made to understand in the reporting of Sean Davy Way is that Jaguar does not have power of attorney over her mother, like we all thought. Because I think she had put out a video where she said she have power of attorney or something. But Jaguar feeds a lot of lies to the public. Her stories like night and day, all infused. Instead of night being separate and day being separate, she puts them together. So you don't know if what is true and what is not true. You just got to sift through it and make sense of it and kind of figure out if a particular part of it is true. That's what the public have been doing. But now that we know that a lot of things were true, some of the things were not true, and it's good that we all got a good understanding of what actually is going on. So, like I said before, perhaps now Jaguar really needs to release her mother because she's sitting in jail. Her mother got her an attorney. Her mother put money on her books. But her mother can do that wherever she is. Her mother can do it from Philadelphia, where the sister is, or where her family is, wherever that is. But her mother chose to stay in Shreveport because that's where they're relocated to. So you got to respect that, you know. You got to respect it. She's a grown woman, just like how Legina is grown and she can do whatever she wants to do. Same with the mother. There are a lot of people who have a touch of mental illness and they're functioning fine in society. They're out there doing their thing, holding down jobs, have their own apartments. Because you have mental illness does not make you incapacitated. The medication that you go on control that part of the brain that gives you that mood swing, or maybe you're hearing people talking, or whatever the reason for your mental illness. There are medications that can remedy that and help that. And so there are people out there living in society who have all those ailments and they're able to function. Jaguar's mother can function also. So, guys, what I'm saying is stop worrying about her. She's going to be fine. She just wants to be where she wants to be. Okay? Not where everybody else wants her to be. We want her to be with the family, with Jaguar's sister. That's not where she wants to be right now. I don't know the dynamic between them. Okay? Because according to Lachelle, the aunts talked to her. Jaguar's aunts spoke with the mother and they thought they were making headway. Because even Lachelle said they made headway. But come to find out, at the ninth hour, the last moment, she did not budge. She said, even if y'all come get me, I'm not leaving. She dug her heels in. When a person digs their heels in, you can't do nothing about that. You got to leave them be. Just like Sam Jr. was refusing to go back to his father's house. He wanted to be with his mother. Look how God intervened. Now he's back at his father's house. I suspect the same is going to happen to the mother. She dug her heels in. She don't want to move. She does not want to relocate to wherever Lachelle is for whatever reason. Maybe she don't have a good relationship with them. I don't know. But when God is ready to intervene, there would be nothing that she can do. She can dig her heels in all she wants to. When God is ready, and when God says it's time, it will be time. Because all this grandstanding that she's doing, it's just that, grandstanding. So when God is ready for her to make that move, there's nothing she will be able to do to stop that process. So that's the update that Sean Davy Bay wanted us to have. And I wanted to put my 2 cents to put a little spin on it. Because, everybody who tells the same story, it tends to be different. It's like the snowball effect. You tell one person something, they tell the next person. And then the next person tells the other person. By the time it gets to the very last person, it's a brand new story. Or the same story with a different twist. So I just wanted to put my little twist on it. The same story, but a little twist. So any event, guys, drop your comments. We all got a better understanding of exactly what went on and what is going on. And we got a little bit of enlightenment with Jaguar and her family, and also what's going on with her in the prison system, that she got a lawyer now. For her to get a lawyer, they're going to fight to reduce those charges. Whatever the charges are, like I said before in the other video, it's serious. Okay? It's something that she can end up in jail for years. And that's why she got a lawyer. So drop your comments. Let me know what you think and feel about this video. I'm over now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.